Hello my dear students, welcome to the class of biology. In today's session, I will be discussing about the NEET question paper of the year 2015. So let's start with the first questions. So this is the first question. You can see here question number 1. In his classic experiment on pea plants, Mendel did not use pod length or sheath shape or flower position or seed color. Well, this is from the chapter Principles of Inheritance and Variation. So while discussing the chapter, in the first topic we have discussed about the characters of the pea plants which were used by the Mendel, right? So among these 4 options, which is the character that Mendel has not used in his experiment of pea plant? That is the option number 1, pod length. So pod length was not used by Mendel for his experiment on pea plants. So this is the correct answer. Now let's see the next question. Now the next question is question number 2. Which one of the following is not applicable to RNA? First is 5' phosphoryl and 3' hydroxyl N. Second is heterocyclic nitrogenous bases. Third is Chargaff's rule. And fourth is complementary base pairing. So this is from the chapter Molecular Basis of Inheritance. There we have discussed all these 4 options. So among these 4 options, one is not applicable to RNA. So what is the answer? That is the option number 3, Chargaff's rules. We have discussed about the Chargaff rule. This Chargaff rule is applicable for only DNA, right? And it is not applicable for RNA. So third is the correct answer of this question. Now let's see the next question. Now the next question is question number 3. You can see here, male gametophyte in angiosperm produces, options are given. First option is single sperm and a vegetative cell. Second option is single sperm and 2 vegetative cells. Third option is 3 sperms, and fourth option is 2 sperms and a vegetative cell. Well, this is a very easy question from the chapter Sexual Reproductions in Flowering Plants. There we have discussed about the male gametophyte where they developed into 3 cell stage. That forms the first is 2 cell stage, that composed of vegetative cells and the generative cells, and after that the generative cells further divide to form the 2 male gametes. So from this 4 option, what is the correct answer of this question? That is the option number 4, which says that 2 sperms and a vegetative cell. 2 sperms mean the male gametes, right? So this is the answer of this question. Now let's see the next question. Which of the following are not membrane bound? Ribosomes or lysosomes or mesosomes or vacuoles. So these options which are given are nothing but the cell organelles, the compositions of the cells. So these are all present in the cytoplasm, right? And all the functions of this all cell organelles we have discussed in the chapter Cell, the Unit of Life. So among these 4 options, which are not having any membrane bound structure? That is the option number 1, that is the ribosomes. Ribosomes are not membrane bound. So this is the correct answer of this question. Now let's see the next question. Now the next question is question number 5. The chitinous exoskeleton of arthropod is formed by the polymerization of D-glucosamine or N-acetylglucosamine or Lipoglycans or Keratin sulphate and chondroitin sulphate. So in the chapter Animal Kingdom, we have discussed that arthropods have the exoskeleton which is made up of chitin, right? So they have chitin in their exoskeleton, and chitin is what? Chitin is a N-acetylglucosamine, which means that option 2 is the correct answer of this question. Now let's move on to the next question. Now the next question is question number 6. Among China rose, mustard, brinjal, potato, guava, cucumber, onion and tulip, how many plants have superior ovary? Options are given: 6, 3, 4 or 5. Well, this is from the chapter Morphology of the Flowering Plants. There we have discussed about the positions of the ovary on the thalamus that can be either superior than inferior or half inferior. So, among these 4 options, what is the correct answer of this? So, in this question it is given that China rose, mustard, brinjal, potato, guava, cucumber, onion and tulip. So, among all these examples, which are having the superior ovary? That is the China rose, mustard, brinjal, potato and onion and tulip. So, how many plants we have got? We have got 6 plants. So, option number 1 is the correct answer. Now, the next question is question number 7. The function of the gap junction is to, 4 options are given. First option is facilitate communication between adjoining cells by connecting the cytoplasm for rapid transfer of ions, small molecules and some large molecules. Second option is separate 2 cells from each other. Third option is stop substance from leaking across a tissue. And the fourth option is performing cementing to keep neighboring cells together. So, this is from the chapter Structural Organization in Animals. There we have discussed about the animal tissue. So, gap junction was also from that chapter. So, what is the function of the gap junction? Gap junction facilitate communication between the adjoining cells by connecting their cytoplasms by rapid transfer of ions of the molecules that can be either small or large, which means option number 1 is the correct answer of this question. So, this is the correct answer of question number 7. Now, let us see the next question. Now, the next question is question number 8. Which of the following immunoglobulin does constitute the largest percentage in human milk? IgM or IgA or IgG or IgD. So, in the chapter human reproductions, we have discussed in the last topic what is the composition of the human milk, that is the colostrum. Colostrum, that is the yellow color fluid which is released by the mother's milk, right. So, that compositions have the antibodies that is called as the immunoglobulin A. So, among these 4 options, the correct answer is option number 2, which means the IgA. IgA means immunoglobulin A, right, and it is present in, that is the yellow fluid in the milk, alright. And the other 4 options are also the name of the antibodies. These are all the name of antibodies, right. So, the option 2 is the correct answer of this question. Now, let us move on to the next question. Now, the next question is question number 9. In mammalian eye, the fovea is the center of the visual field where 4 options are given here. The optic nerve leaves the eye. Second is only rods are present. Third is more rods than cones are found. And the fourth is high density of cones occur but has no rods. So, this is from the chapter Neural Control and Coordinations. So, in the last topic we have discussed about the human eye and ear. So, human eye, what is the correct answer of this question? So, in this question it has asked that in mammalian eye, the fovea is the center of the visual field and this visual field is where the high density of cones take place, but it has no rods. So, among these 4 options, option number 4 is the correct answer of this question. Now, let us see the next question. Now, the next question is question number 10. You can see here, doctor used stethoscope to hear the sound produced during each cardiac cycle. The second sound is heard when 4 options are given. First is ventricular valves vibrate due to gushing in of blood from atria. Second is semilunar valves close down after the blood flows into vessels from ventricles. Third is AV node receives signal from SA node, and the fourth option is AV valves open up. So this question is from the chapter Body Fluids and Circulation. So the second sound which is heard during the cardiac cycle take place when the semilunar valve closes down after the blood flows into vessels from the ventricles, which means that option number 2 is the correct answer of this question, and you can refer to the chapter for more details. Now let's move on to the next question. Now the next question is question number 11. Coconut water from a tender coconut is free nuclear endosperm or innermost layers of the seed coat or degenerated nucleus or immature embryo. So this is from the chapter Morphology of the flowering plants, and this question has come many times in your NEET level question paper. So among these 4 options, what is the correct answer? That is the option number 1, free nuclear endosperm. So the coconut water from a tender coconut is nothing but what? It is a free nuclear endosperm, which means option number 1 is the correct answer of this question. Now the next question is question number 12. The cutting of DNA at specific location became possible with the discovery of probes, selectable markers, ligases or restriction enzymes. So this is from the chapter Biotechnology Principle and Process, and you know that a specific site of DNA is cut and it is recognized by the enzyme restriction enzyme, that is called as the molecular scissors. So among these 4 options, the correct answer is option number 4, restriction enzyme. So restriction enzymes are also called as molecular, right? Molecular scissors, and it is also called as the knife. So what is the work of this molecular scissor? That is the restriction enzyme. They recognize a specific site of the DNA and they cut that sequence. So that is the function of this restriction enzyme. So this is the correct answer. Now let's see the next question. Now the next question is question number 13. Which of the following structure is not found in a prokaryotic cell? Ribosome, mesosome, plasma membrane or nuclear envelope? So this is a very easy question, and in the chapter Cell, the Unit of Life, we have discussed about the eukaryotic cells and the prokaryotic cell. So among these 4 options, what is the correct answer? That is option number 4, nuclear envelope. That means the structure which is not found in the prokaryotic cell is the nuclear envelope. You can take the example of bacteria. So the genetic materials are not and devoid of the nuclear envelope, and that is called as the nucleoid, right? So this is a very easy question. Now let's see the next question. Now the next question is question number 14. Arrange the following events of meiosis in correct sequence: crossing over, then synapses, terminalization of chiasmata and the disappearance of nucleolus. So this is from the chapter Cell Cycle and Cell Divisions. So it is very easy questions. While discussing about the cell division of meiosis, we have got the crossing over and synapses. So in this question, it has asked to arrange all these 4 statements in a correct order. So what should be the first statement? That is the synapses which take place in the zygotine stage. Zygotine stage, you remember, that take place in the meiosis 1 of the prophase 1 stage. Next is the crossing over, that should be 2. So crossing over take place in the Pectine stage. So zygotine, Pectine, and after that third will be terminalization of chiasmata, and the 4th is disappearance of nucleolus. So among these 4 options, the option number 1 is the correct answer of this question. Alright. Now let's see the next question. Now the next question is question number 15. A column of water with xylem vessels of tall trees does not break under its weights because of, options are given, tensile strength of water, or lignification of xylem vessel, or positive root pressure, or dissolved sugar in water. So this question has come from the chapter Transport in Plants. So in this question, what they have said, that a column of water within the xylem vessel of tall trees does not break under its weight. It is because of the tensile strength of water. So among these four options, option number 1 is the correct answer of this question. Now let's move on to the next question. Now the next question is question number 16. The imperfect fungi, which are decomposers of litter and help in mineral cycling, belong to Basidiomycetes or Phycomycetes or Ascomycetes or Deuteromycetes. So this is from the chapter Plant Kingdom, from the kingdom Fungi. So among these four options, what is the correct answer? That is the option number 4, Deuteromycetes. So Deuteromycetes, they are called as the imperfect fungi. So that is the correct answer of this question. Now let's see the next question. Now the next question is question number 17. The structure that helps some bacteria to attach to rocks and or host tissues are fimbriae, mesosomes, holdfast or rhizoids. So this is from the chapter Cell, the Unit of Life. So while discussing about the prokaryotic cells, we have discussed the structure which are present in the bacteria. So among this fourth option, the option number 1, that is fimbriae, are used by the bacteria to attach it to the rocks or any kind of host tissue. So option number 1 is the correct answer. Now the next question is question number 18. The DNA molecules to which the gene of interest is integrated for cloning is called vector, temple, carrier or transformer. This is a very easy question and it has come from the unit Biotechnology and from the chapter Biotechnology, its principle and process. So we have discussed the technique of rDNA technology. So among these four options, what is the correct answer for these questions? So in this question, it has asked that the DNA molecules to which the gene of interest is integrated for cloning. Cloning means to form the exact copies. So what is the answer? That is the option number 1, vector. So vectors are used for cloning the gene of interest. So that is the correct answer. Now let's see the next question. Now the next question is question number 19. Pick up the wrong statement. First statement is Protista have photosynthetic and heterotrophic modes of nutrition. Second is some fungi are edible. Third is nuclear membrane is present in Monera. And the fourth is cell wall is absent in Animalia. Well, this is a very easy questions and very concept based question, and from the chapter Biological Classifications in the kingdom Monera, that includes the bacteria, and bacteria you know that is the prokaryotic cells and they are not having any nuclear membrane. So among these four options, the option number 3 is incorrectly written. So nuclear membrane is absent in Monera, but it is written here that it is present in Monera. So option number 3 is the wrong statement, while 1, 2 and 4 is the correct statement of this question. Now let's see the next question. Now the next question is question number 20. Metagenesis refers to the alternation of generation between asexual and sexual phase of an organism, or the occurrence of drastic change in form during post-embryonic development, or presence of a segmented body and parthenogenetic mode of reproduction, or the fourth is the presence of different morphic forms. So this is a direct question from your NCERT textbook of the chapter Animal Kingdom. So here we have got this, the metagenesis. So metagenesis, it refers to the alternation of generation between asexual and sexual phase of an organism, that we have discussed in that polyp and medusa. That was the example of this metagenesis. So among these four options, option number 1 is the correct answer of this question. Now let's see the next question. Now the next question is question number 21. Which of the following event is not associated with ovulation in human female? 4 options are given. full development of Graafian follicle, next is release of secondary oocyte, third is LH surge, and the fourth is decrease in estradiol. So, this is from the chapter human reproductions. So, in the discussion of the menstrual cycle and the human female reproductive system, we have talked about this. So, among these 4 options, you have to choose the option which is not associated with the ovulations in human female. So, from this 4 option, option number 4 is the correct answer. That means decrease in estradiol is not associated with ovulations in human female, whereas the first, second and third, that is the full development of the Graafian follicle, then the release of secondary oocyte and the luteinizing hormone surge, these are all associated with the ovulations of the human female. So, option number 4 is the correct answer. Now, let us see the next question. Now, the next question is question number 22. Which of the following joints would allow no movements? Cartilaginous joint, or synovial joint, or ball and socket joint, or fibrous joint. So, this is from the chapter locomotions and movement. There we have discussed the types of joints. So, among these 4 options, you have to say which of this following joint is not associated and it is not allow any kind of movement. So, among these 4 options, the option number 4, that is fibrous joint, is the joint which do not allow any kind of movement. So, this is the correct answer. Now, the next question is question number 23. Match the following list of microbes and their importance. First columns, all the types of microbes are given along with their scientific name, like first one is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, then Monoscus purpureus, then third is Trichoderma polysporum, and the fourth is Propionibacterium shermani. And in the column 2, all their functions and their importance are given, like the production of immunosuppressive agent, then ripening of the Swiss cheese, then commercial productions of ethanol, and the fourth is production of blood cholesterol lowering agent. Well, this is from the chapter microbes in human welfare. So, what we have to do? We have to match the column 1 with column 2 to know the importance of each of these microbes. So, let us see after matching the column 1 with column 2 what is the answer. So, after matching the column 1 with column 2, we have got their functions. So, the first is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. They helps in the commercial productions of ethanol. Next is the Monoscus purpureus. They help in the productions of blood cholesterol lowering agent. Then third is Trichoderma polysporum, that helps in the production of immunosuppressive agent, and the fourth is Propionibacterium shermani. They help in the ripening of Swiss cheese. So, this is the correct sequence of this question. Among these 4 options, option number 4 is the correctly written answer. So, this is the correct answer of this question. Now, let us see the next question. Now, the next question is question number 24. The UN conference parties in climate change in the year 2012 was held at, 4 options are given, Doha, Lima, Warsaw or Durban. So, this question has given from the chapter environmental issues. So, in the year 2012 it was held at Doha. So, the correct answer is option number 1, that is the Doha. It was in the 28 November to 11 December. Okay. So, this is the correct answer of this question. Now, let us see the next question. Now, the next question is question number 25. In the question number 25, you can see here, if you suspect major deficiency of antibodies in a person, to which of the following would you like to confirmation evidence? 4 options are given. First is serum albumins, second is hemocytes, third is serum globulins, and the fourth is fibrinogen in plasma. So, this is from the chapter body fluids and circulation. So, in the first start of the chapter, we have discussed about the proteins and the serum it composed of the antibodies that can be used for giving the evidence of the disease in which it can say the major deficiency of the antibodies in a person. So, among these 4 options, option number 3 is the correct answer, that is the serum globulins. Now, let us move on to the next question. Now, the next question is question number 26. Chromatophores take part in growth, movement, respiration or photosynthesis. Well, this is a very easy question, and in the chapter of discussing the plant kingdom we have talked about this. So, the chromatophores, these are take part in the photosynthesis. So, among these 4 options, option number 4 is the correct answer of this question. Now, let us move on to the next question. Now, the next question is question number 27. Acid rain is caused by increase in the atmospheric concentration of sulfur trioxide and sulfur monoxide, or carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, or the third is ozone and dust, and the fourth is sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide. So, this is from the chapter environmental issues. So, we have discussed here that acid rain is caused by sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide. So, among these 4 options, option number 4 is the correct answer of this question. Now, the next question is question number 28. During ecological succession, the establishment of new biotic community is very fast in its primary phase, or the number and types of animal remains constant, or the changes lead to a community that is in near equilibrium with the environment and is called as the pioneer community. And the fourth is the gradual and predictable changes in species compositions occur in a given area. So, this question has been discussed in the chapter ecosystem. So, among these 4 options, what happens during the ecological succession? That is, during the ecological succession, the gradual and predictable changes in species compositions occurs in a given area, which means option number 4 is the correct answer of this question. So, this is the correct answer. Now, let us see the next question. Now, the next question is question number 29. The oxygen evolved during photosynthesis come from water molecules. Which one of the following pairs of element is involved in this reaction? First option is manganese and potassium, second option is magnesium and molybdenum, and third is magnesium and chlorine, and the fourth is manganese and chlorine. So, this is from the chapter photosynthesis in higher plants. So, during photosynthesis you know that oxygens evolved and this oxygen come from the water molecules. So, which of the pairs of element is involved in this reaction? The answer is manganese and chlorine. So, from the given option, option number 4 is the correct answer of this question. Now, let us see the next question. Now, the next question is question number 30. Which of the following pair is not correctly matched? So, in the first column the mode of reproductions are given, and in the second column the examples are given. So, the first is rhizome, their example is banana, that is correctly matched. Second is binary fission and the example is given sargassum, that is not correctly matched. And the third is conidia, that is the examples are given penicillium, and the fourth is offset, the example is water hyacinth, that is also correct, which were taken by the plants for the reproduction process. So, among these 4 options, what is the correct answer? The option number 1 and 3 and 4 is correctly matched, but in option number 2 it is written that binary fission, it is the mode of reproductions of sargassum, which is incorrectly written, because you can take the example of binary fissions, the example is yeast, that is the Saccharomyces cerevisiae, but it is written the sargassum. So, answer number 2 is the correct answer of this question.
To the next question, that is question number 137. Question number 137, it says that